How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today, I want to stress why it's so important to get at least 3 quotes whenever you're doing a big job for your house. To do this, I'm going to give you guys some real-world examples that I have been through myself because I got multiple quotes for my roofing job and also my fence job. But before I begin, this video is brought to you by the Moo app. You can get 5 free shares of stock just for signing up and depositing some amount of money. Each of the 5 shares of stock is worth between $300 and $3,500. Check out my referral link down in the video description below. When I worked for this big company, they just had a ethics scandal and they instituted this company-wide thing. If you cannot get 3 different quotes from 3 different companies, you have to state why you're not able to do so. And if you happen to pick a quote that is not the cheapest, you also have to state a reason why you're not picking the cheapest. All of these requirements is really just to get people to follow a good ethics standard so that people are not getting kickbacks. By the way, a kickback might be where an employee pick a company and maybe you know someone that works there, your uncle or something, right? And then they charge something a little bit more, maybe, I don't know, 10-20% more than the industry standard. And then they agree to give you a little bit money on the side, which is called a kickback. They kick the money back to you. And essentially, the company is paying more, which they do not have to, but you're pocketing the difference. This, of course, breaches ethics standards, and I'm pretty sure it's against the law in many places. So with that said, let me go over what happened when I did my fence quote recently. I did 4 different quotes for my fences. I just wanted to do 3, but then I was on a roll, so I was like, okay, let me just get more just in case. If you have the motivation or if you have the time to do it, yeah, sure, get more than 3. And I would say, in my experience of getting more quotes or even getting at least 3, it's like every hour you spend, you're probably saving $1,000. So you're earning or saving $1,000 per hour. So just because it's a really big job, don't be afraid to spend a little bit more time on it. In fact, the bigger the job, the more quotes that you should actually do. Anyway, the first company came out and gave me a quote. They had to go back and discuss with the manager or something, and they sent me an email quote offer for $5,690. It's around 84 linear feet of fencing. If you guys are interested in exactly how much they're doing it, plus 1 extra door. Company B came out to quote, and then they have company letterhead on the quote, which is sort of official, right? They're not just writing on some random piece of paper or just telling it to me. The quote is handwritten right then and there, and they offered it to me for $3,610. Company C did this over the phone, and when I called them, they seemed to be fumbling with stuff over the phone. I can hear like paper wrestling and stuff, and they're at some computer. They sound really disorganized. And eventually, they gave me a quote of $4,600. It's not the cheapest. And then company D, this is the interesting one. As soon as they came in, this guy was like a really, really good salesperson. And, you know, right then and there, I felt like he's a really nice guy. I almost want to give him the job. He told me that they did not have their schedule filled up for the next week. So then he's very interested in giving me a really good deal. And then later on, he mentioned that some items might cost extra, like $50 for doing a certain kind of fence post where there's concrete next to it. And then near the house, there's like this little piece of siding or something they had to add on. And, oh yeah, they're gonna give it to me for free or something. I'm like, oh yeah, this sounds really great. So then this guy didn't give me the quote right away. He had to send me a quote afterwards. But he also knew that I was getting multiple quotes. So this is kind of strange that he gave me a quote of $4,733. Now, this is not the cheapest. The cheapest so far is the second company at $3,610. So I just want to bring this little story up because just because the guy seems nice, the guy seems personable, and I almost wanted to give it to him. And I thought that he was going to give me a really good deal. When the quote came in, I was like, oh yeah, it's going to be that one. But then it turns out that it's not the cheapest. I do understand that you also want to go with a company that is reputable. They're not going to cheap you out on like the materials, or like maybe the fence posts, they're not going to dig as deep as you really wanted or something, right? Some sort of craftsmanship issue over here. But all of these companies actually have at least 40 ratings with 4 stars. So all of these are, you know, at least based on public ratings, they're pretty good. So then I actually went with the cheapest one. The fence right now is built already, and I'm pretty happy with it. Just because they're really nice and maybe you'll have 2 quotes already, you really just have to bite the bullet and spend that extra time to get that 3rd or 4th quote. The salesperson might actually persuade you to go, okay, this is the company, you're just gonna go with it, you're just kind of tired of getting quotes, you're tired of like taking another day off to stay at home so that you can get yet another quote. Just go through the motions. Humor me. Even if you think it's gonna be more expensive, just do it anyway. It probably will save you $1,000 an hour worth of your time. Here's another interesting big job that I did long time ago, which is for the roof. 30-year shakes, they call it, which is kind of like an asphalt compounds mixed in, so it's supposed to last a really long time. And then they're supposed to do the downspouts, gutter and stuff. This is going to be a really big job, and I have no idea how much it's gonna cost, but I got quotes from all over the place. I found a couple of them through some yellow pages directory. Yeah, and then I'm like, okay, let me look through some roofing places and just search every which way to get some quotes. So I ended up getting 5 different quotes, 2 better than the minimum 3. Company A was 5,890. Company B is 6,600. Company C is 7,800. Company D is interesting. I'm gonna actually tell you which company it is, which is Sears. They subcontract it out, so it's not actually these people that are working for Sears. Sears would actually call someone else, and I guess they take a cut for knowing some roofing people. They offered me a ridiculous $15,017 for one kind of shingle, $16,378 for a second kind of shingle, and $18,929 for a third kind of shingle, which it's ridiculous. I cry for the person who goes, I'm gonna go with Sears, and they pay the most expensive, $18,000 some dollars, right? Compared to the cheapest at around $5,890, right? Less than $6,000. This is 1/3 the cost. So if you went with Sears, it would be 3 times. Ridiculous, right? So suffice to say, you probably should not call up Sears for your roofing jobs. So take that as a data point over here. The last company, the 5th company, is through someone I know. Not someone I know directly, but through a friend who knows someone. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna call them up just to get another quote. They came over, they offered me an even $10,000. And the interesting thing about this particular one is that they offered me a kickback. They wanted me to do my roofing job along with my neighbors because it's like a connected home roof type of thing. And the total job is $20,000. And if you get your neighbor to do it at the same time, we will give you a kickback of $1,000 or so. So right then and there, I thought, wow, this is really sleazy. None of the other companies that are actual companies offered any kind of kickbacks, and I think this is illegal. This might not be an official company. This is just some person. And so there's some kind of breach of ethics here over here. So right off the top, I'm like, this leaves a really bad taste in my mouth, and I'm like, I really don't want to go with this person. Even if it's the cheapest, you really should not go with it because there's like a morality issue over here. That's all I want to share with you guys for today. I think getting at least 3 quotes, probably 4 or 5 would be your best bet. Whenever you're doing any kind of job that costs maybe over $2,000 or so. I hope this video really brings that home, helps you save thousands of dollars just for getting a couple more quotes. And as always, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.